Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Ideas are bulletproof.
But today, it seems to be a very good. I shouldn't say not good as in good or bad, but good with a quantity of variety of news stories. We've got things like the mother who lost her son in a hit and run, and she's actually getting prosecuted and faces longer jail sentence than the guy that ran over her kid. See, her kids and her were crossing an intersection, and a guy who admittedly was a little drunk and on painkillers had swerved through the intersection, not even seen them, whatever, in his drunken stupor, hit them and killed one of the kids. And the mother's being prosecuted because she didn't cross at a crosswalk and therefore endangered the kids' lives. And she actually faces a longer jail sentence than the guy that ran over her kid and killed the kid. Now, talk about a kick in the face. You're a victim, and you face a longer sentence, and they're charging her with, I think it's vehicular homicide or vehicular manslaughter or something like that. How does one get charged when they were, A, a pedestrian, they weren't in a vehicle, and B, they're the victim that got run over by the car? How do you get charged with vehicular manslaughter? And these prosecutors are just out of control. Out of control. That segues into another story. All these people that have been jumping on Casey Anthony, right? Oh, she's guilty. She did it. The evidence points to the fact that she did it. Those jurors are crazy. And, you know, many people in the alternative media, including myself, have said, look, you know, they're going to use this as an excuse to try to go after the Sixth Amendment, you know, vilify juries and stuff like that in the general public's eye. They said, the prosecutor said something about Casey Anthony doing a Google search for chloroform, right? 84 times. Turns out it was once. And when the prosecutor found out that the number was off, they never fixed it. They just went ahead, and that's what they used for their case. That's the reason why that girl got off. Do I know whether or not she killed that little girl? No. Do I think that she had something to do with the little girl's death and covering it up? Yeah, of course I do. But the evidence doesn't prove that she murdered that little girl, which is what she was on trial for. If everybody's pissed that chick didn't go to jail because the little Kaylee died and there's no justice for Kaylee, well, be pissed off at the judge and be pissed off at the prosecutor, especially the prosecutor. Because if you fail to bring a good case to court, the guy's going to get off or the woman's going to get off. Same thing in the O.J. Simpson trial. The reason why O.J. got off was because they screwed up. The cops did too many stupid things. The prosecution did too many stupid things. And the defense was able to eat it up and spit them out. And that's the way a fair jury system is supposed to work. I mean, the whole court system is ridiculous anyway. I've explained that before. But the point is, she got off not because the jury's stupid and didn't listen to Nancy Grace. That wench should have her mouth taped shut with duct tape. No, nobody's in the jury is guilty. They all felt sick to their stomach. But there was not enough evidence, and everybody said they were lying. And again, it comes out today the prosecutors made up evidence. Now, that in itself is criminal. They should go to jail for that. They should literally go to jail. Those prosecutors should be fired and locked up and then brought on trial themselves for falsifying evidence. But they won't. They'll be allowed to prosecute and be running around. That's just the way it is. Meanwhile, innocent people are, going in front of them day after day, getting railroaded by these prosecutors. That's the way it is. And I'm not saying Casey Anthony's innocent or anything like that. I'm just using it as an example. People instantly, they vilify the jury system and the Sixth Amendment. Oh, blah, 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 blah. The juries don't work, blah, 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 blah. The media has been using it as a distraction for months. I mean, the girl's out of jail now, and they're still talking about her. It's a non-case. It's over. The media made it this big deal. The media is the one that tried her, and in the court of public opinion, everybody was, oh, she did it. The media is the one that gave everybody that big letdown when Casey Anthony didn't go to jail. The media did that to these people. Look how many stupid people were outside the courthouse. Justice for Kaylee. Justice for Kaylee. I understand that it's emotional. You feel bad that a little girl died. So do I. It's a horrible thing. But all that crap was fomented by the mass media mind control that was going on with that whole thing. The media made that a huge spectacle. Complete and utter ridiculousness. Oh, the prosecutor, they're so golden. Now it comes out that, again, today it comes out in the news that the prosecutor, they made up the amount of time she Googled the word chloroform. It was once, and they said 84 times. Well, gee, once compared to 84 times looks a little guilty, doesn't it? But once doesn't look that guilty. It could be coincidental. So it's just an example of how they lie, how they manipulate the facts. I made a video a couple weeks ago about how they manipulate the facts in Libya. Prime example. They were talking, Al Jazeera did a news report. They were saying that the quote-unquote rebels, Al-Qaeda, had attacked a Libyan weapons cache and seized all these weapons and everything, and they show the video of these tanks, and they're like, see, even the tanks, they took them. The problem was that wasn't the story at all. The reporter said he witnessed this epic battle, but they didn't have 5 seconds of video footage from this epic battle. Right. Okay. All you got to do is see battles in Iraq where there were newspaper or video reporters or network TV reporters or whoever there, and they've got photos and at least 5 or 10 seconds of video and you hear the guns going off and bombs and everything. Nothing. Just the Al Jazeera reporter's story. That's all you had to go by. And then a couple days later, they admitted that those weapons were airdropped by the French military. No story of a battle. No story of this epic firefight. Airdrops. And the tanks, all that, and all the vehicles they saw, that was a convoy that they just cut up the video from. We're going to break. We'll be right back.
All my real patriots stand up and say 9/11 was an inside job. They lie, they scam, they cheat and steal. They plot, they fund, they act, it's real. They watch, they hunt, they punish and kill.